Hello, my name is Megan O'Russell.
And my name is Christopher Russell, and welcome back to Page by Page, writing the book in real time. We are now at chapter 34.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah! So, a lot has happened since last week in our lives. No? What?
I don't remember.
Well,
time has no meaning.
There was a little thing that happened this past Saturday.
Oh, yes.
About
yes.
hands and being off. It's, all I think I have to say about that. And then I finally finished rehearsals.
Oh, right. So now you can tell everybody what it is.
I can. I was actually given the green light. So this is the second thing that I've been sitting on. It was actually the first thing I got hired for, but the second thing I rehearsed for is very, very odd. So if you've ever been to Universal Studios, I think they have it in Hollywood as well, but in Orlando, they have a show called the Horror Makeup Show. And I am going to get to do my burn-in performances on this Wednesday. So if you happen to find yourself in the area between the hours of, I want to say it's 11:30 and like 3, I think is the last show that I'll be doing. I'll be doing 5 shows in a row. Come check it out. I would love your support because it is, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And it's just to clarify, because you say horror makeup show to a lot of people, and it sounds
and people
scary.
are like, wait, what? Oh, it's not.
But it's not actually that. It is like a 20-minute.
There's a couple of things that's kind of like, oh, yeah, but it's not.
It's about how horror makeup is done and the history of horror makeup.
Right.
So he is not like a grisly
monster. No.
He is either a host or portraying the makeup artist.
Yes.
So it is not like this scary, I can't do horror movies, I don't want to see this.
No.
It is funny, it is light.
I think the scariest thing is probably the clip at the beginning. Yeah. There's a clip that we show at the beginning of like some of the Universal Studios Legacy of Horror, which is something I actually didn't think about until really getting into these rehearsals, is that's kind of how Universal Studios got their start, was in like monster movies and stuff with Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame. So it was really cool getting to learn about that history too. Anyway, so yeah, come check it out. And even if I'm not there, go see the show. Everybody
really
in it is amazing, and it is so fun. The people I trained in with are all incredible too. So it's great. It's a great time. Anyway,
so that is all of the big news
that's
from
all
you.
The big news
is that
from me.
you
That's
are hanging out with a certain car and then doing some horror makeup.
Yeah, doing some horror makeup.
Do you feel so much better?
What do you mean? Now that I can actually talk about it?
Yeah.
And that it's all like done ish. It's not, horror makeup isn't done yet. That's not officially done.
Yeah, you have to do your burn-in.
That is when I am approved officially, knock on wood. I think something would have to go really horribly wrong for me to not get approved. But we'll see. Anything can happen. So that's all out there. So why don't we talk about other horrific things, namely death and destruction with certain werewolves? What? I'm talking about Clara.
Oh.
I was trying to segue. It didn't work.
What are we segueing into?
I don't know. We're talking about the book, man.
Okay, well, you've confused me, so I'm going to have a sip of my beer with or without you.
Okay, no, don't do it yet. Okay, so cheers, and I'll talk about the beer in a second. Okay, so this beer is from a Florida brewery. It's around Miami-ish. It's a little north of there, called Funky Buddha. And this is called Floridian wheat beer. And it's
very nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's not as good as their Golden Monkey. Golden Monkey?
That's not
not Golden Monkey. What do we like from them?
They had something, and I don't think it's on that they sell it anymore, but it was some kind of Manhattan rye beer that was awesome, but we haven't had that in years.
Well, I knew there was something from this that I was like, I love that.
Yeah, we really love that.
It's a little pale for me.
Really?
It feels a little empty at the end.
Oh no, I see that.
But I still like it. Okay, so now I've had my beer, and what is your werewolf and darkness question?
Werewolves. Yeah, go tell us about werewolves. Tell me about it, stud.
Well, sometimes people shift into werewolves at the full moon.
Well, hold on. Are you telling me this is something that actually happens, like in reality?
I think if you asked some ER doctors, probably yes.
Yeah.
That's one. Okay, there are a lot of reasons that I never wanted to be a nurse.
Yeah.
Bodily fluids is top among it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Also, having to hold pee for that long is no, that's also a no.
Oh, gosh, I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah. But it's also every horror story about full moon. I don't want to work any job where full moon comes into play. I don't want that.
The full moon comes into play is in the original 1930s version of The Wolfman, starring Lon Chaney Jr. Sorry.
Why didn't you just say, okay, Megan, why don't we do previously on?
Okay, Megan, why don't we do previously on?
That sounds like a great idea, Chris. Previously on Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer. The day of the hike to find the place where the day of the hike to find the place where Clara was. The day of the hike to find the cliff where Clara was murdered has finally arrived.
Oh, gosh.
And it is just Ella and Jason out there on the trail. And they have a unique theory that maybe the photographer moved the equipment / killer moved the still living werewolf by ATV. Who knows? It could happen. And so they're hiking along that path, searching for the cliff. Just hiking and searching with that awkward teen tension. Hike and search. We're going to make chatter because that's what we have to do, even though... That's how I picture the hike.
Yeah, sure. You know, I want you to do all of your books in audiobook format in that voice. It was a new day at Springfield Elementary or high school, whatever it is that Jacob and Amelia go to.
And then my teacher died.
I wasn't talking about this book, but yes, that works too. And can you imagine Ella saying all the fucks in this voice? Well, fuck her face.
No, wait. Okay, just like talk for a second.
Okay, all right, great. This is usually something that Megan doesn't let me do. Is just talk for a second. All right, so kids, gather around. I'm going to tell you a little story.
I have 5 seconds
about Titanic. See, look, I mentioned it on the podcast.
Okay. No, I just want to read like the first couple sentences of Ember and Stone.
Oh, man. Okay.
The crack of the whip sent the birds scattering into the sky. They cawed their displeasure at the violence of the men below as they flew over the village to the mountains beyond. The whip cracked again. Aaron did well. He didn't.
I love you so much, and you were so talented. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. I'm just going to call it. I'm going to say we're not doing that. Okay, great. So
you don't want me to do that in like a weird, quasi-sexy, gritty, awkward announcer voice?
Oh my God. And then Enna... her town was set on fire. No, let's not do that.
It'd be fun.
Also, that's not much of a spoiler. Her town gets set on fire really early in the book. We just jump right into it. Kind of like we do in this book, actually.
Sometimes
speaking of...
shit has to burn.
Shit has to burn. Speaking of fire, let's get into this chapter. There's kind of fire that happens. You know what I'm talking about. Sort of. What?
Oh, yeah, I caught on.
Okay.
See, it's like when you stare at me with big eyes like that, I'm like, there's something deep and meaningful I'm supposed to say.
Yes,
but no,
always.
You were just making a funny pun. Okay, let's continue.
I was making a reference to the chapter, which I'll be reading now, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. That sounds like a great idea.
All right. So then, without further ado, actually, strike that. I'm going to make this a little bit further ado. Microphone is moving over to me. There we go. Because I'm old and my neck hurts. So without further ado, I give you Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer by the one, the only, Megan O. Russell.
Oh, thank you. You're too kind.
Yeah, you're welcome. Chapter 34. Mom would have been proud of me. So fucking proud. The fissure slicing into the cliff, the big boulder, the sweeping landscape, the silhouettes of the peaks in the distance, even the airy peak overhang was damn near fucking identical to my sketch. Jason stepped out onto the cliff, but I stayed in the tree line, waiting to realize I was actually hallucinating or had slipped into a vision, meaning none of this was real. We hadn't found the place Clara had been killed, I just didn't have as firm a grip on my mind as I'd hoped. But the world stayed solid. Because we really had fucking found it. Wait, is this? Jason looked from me to the view to me again. Did we find it? My voice box had solidified, so I nodded. Damn, we're good! Jason ran back to me, raising his hand for a high five or fist bump or some other celebratory hand thing, but his smile faded and his arm fell before he'd actually reached me. You okay? I nodded. He furrowed his brow. Use your words, Ella. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Get it together, Ella. The hard part is over, Ella. Bring it on home, Ella. I'm not sure I believed this would actually work, I said. Jason clapped his hand to his chest. You doubted my ability to lead you to this very spot based on a sketch? I shrugged and made a, well, yeah, kind of face. Understandable, but we did it! He came in for a high five again. This time I went with it, giving his hand a hearty smack before sneaking in a quick, very much non-lingering hug. You are fucking amazing, Jason Archer. I stepped past him, giving him a second for his blush to fade, scanning the wiry, browning grass for any signs of recent human, aitherion, any kind of supernatural traffic. Nary a gum wrapper in sight, let alone anything that screamed murder scene. Want to sit? Jason pointed toward the boulder on the side of the fissure opposite where Clara had lain face down, pain tearing through her battered body. Not yet. Speaking sharpened the sour on my tongue. Not nauseous sour, the tangy, sour taste of remembered blood in my mouth. Clara's mouth. A pinch twisted the front of my chest, squeezing my lungs, stealing my air. Air I needed to survive. But my body didn't care. I was already dead. I'd died here, painfully. This was where I had been murdered. Talons grazed my skin, threatening to dig in. The cosmos didn't want me here, alive where I was dead, but the me wasn't me because the I was Clara. Ella Day hadn't been murdered. Clara had. The pain had been hers, the death had been hers, but I'd felt myself fall over the edge of the cliff and... Fuck, breathe, Ella. Breathe, Ella. Process trauma later, Ella. It's not about you, Ella. The wiry grass gave way to moss, then finally to stone near the cliff's edge. There was nothing to mark the place where Clara's blood had seeped into the rain-drenched moss. The moss didn't even have the decency to grow in a funny color or just fucking wither and die. I knew that wasn't how blood worked, but it still felt so fucking wrong. Ella? Jason took my hand, the same way he had to help me over the crumbled patches on our hike, but this time his offer of aid tipped the world. I dug my nails into the palm of my free hand, clinging to the present. The ground kept tipping, sliding out from under me, but I don't know if it makes sense. This perversion of gravity wasn't tipping me toward Jason. He hadn't triggered the vision. He was the human harness dangling me over the abyss, the lifeline my brain had been waiting for to fling me into the chaos. I lost the physical sensation of Jason's hand in mine. My hands were empty in the dim room, but I could still feel him, the tether ready to whisk me away. Corrugated metal walls, the stench of rotting lumber and bleach, but wrong. Familiar, but wrong. Painful. Searing pain hovering a breath over my flesh. Behind me, creak, 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 creak. Torture, agony, lurking, waiting. The vision clawed across my face as I fought to turn my head. A workbench, a door, a little window in the door looking out into dark nothing. Empty coat hooks, a map on the wall. I couldn't turn far enough, but I needed to see. Creak, 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 creak. I pushed hard, trying to twist my whole body, accepting the painful price. A scream tore from my throat, sparking a fire that flared into a circle of flames surrounding me, devouring everything, destroying everything, me included. No, I won't let you. The lifeline, strong, solid. I latched my mind onto the feel of the Jason-shaped anchor and pulled, dragging myself up above the circle of fire, above the roof of the hell with the corrugated metal walls, up into the darkness where the cold nothing soothed the pain away and gravity remembered how to work. My knees buckled as the nothing gained color and reality came back into view. Whoa! Jason skipped, catching, and went right to scooping me into his arms. Shit. Sorry, I said. For screaming, for puking blood? Sorry for what, Ella? Sorry, I said again. What happened? You tell me. Nothing, I'm fine. You looked like you were going to pass out. Thanks for the assist. Blood sugar, I grimaced. I think you might have been right about needing to stop for a snack. Jason knelt, lowering me to sit on the ground right beside where Clara had lain. Are you sure that's all? Sitting beside the spot a werewolf suffered isn't great, but my knees may also be slightly jello-y from the last downhill. Just this much. I held 2 fingers together and squinted through the tiny gap between them. Snacks it is. Jason pulled off his pack and sat on Clara's spot. Are you in the mood for sweet or savory? I made sure we had both options. Savory said hearty. Sweet said fun. Neither seemed less offensive for a murder scene. I slid off my pack. The concept of trying to swallow food was fucking repulsive, but the blood sugar lie had to be maintained. Is it awful if I want to... sorry. Hey, that was a good run.
I think that was a great run.
5.5 pages.
Damn.
Yeah,
Congrats. And you got tripped up by the snacks.
I would like to thank the Academy. I know, because the snacks sound so good, especially because I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you what one of the snacks is. Megan asked me the other day. She was like, "What was that really good cookie that we had in Alaska?" So there is, if you ever find yourself in Denali National Park, there is a place that the locals call Glitter Gulch. It's it's like a stretch of road on George Parks Highway that has a bunch of restaurants and shops, and one of those restaurants is called Black Bear Coffee, and they make these cookies that they're gluten free, but they're almond. And I don't know if it's almond flour or if it's just like ground up almond. Either way, it's really good. And then they put a kind of jam in the center of it, and oh my God, they're so good. What? So that's why I got caught up on the snacks, because I want to go back to Alaska and have an almond jam cookie. What?
Okay, that was a great story.
Thank you.
So how about we get back to the snacks in the book? When we're done, we can have a snack in real life.
But there's no almond jam cookies here.
There's no almond jam cookies, and it is cruel.
It is cruel. Okay, I'm gonna have to learn how to make those.
You can?
Yeah, I probably. Look, Becky and I played together in a jazz band. I'm sure she'd give me the recipe.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Alonzi.
No, go ahead. Say it. Say it.
Continue.
Thank you. All right. I slid off my pack. The concept of trying to swallow food was fucking repulsive, but the blood sugar lie had to be maintained. Is it awful if I want to start by trying a little bit of everything? Not awful, wise. Jason unzipped the top of his pack. And since we found the cliff, we actually fucking did. Celebration is in order, making the nice, cheerful. He pulled out a colorfully printed cloth picnic blanket my mom forced me to bring on an off-trail hike suddenly feel a lot less embarrassing. It's a special occasion, right? The plastic bottom layers of the picnic blanket peeled apart with that distinct, haven't been unfolded since the factory sound as Jason revealed Starry Night with streaks of glitter accenting the broad brushstrokes, because who doesn't think Van Gogh needs a little extra pizzazz? Fancy. I pursed my lips, letting the humor of the glitter that would be all over our asses if we sat on that blanket block my cringe as he laid the monstrosity over Clara's spot. Perfect for hiking with an artist. Yeah, my mom was really excited about it. Any glitter that ends up in your car is your mom's fault. Deal? Jason's face fell. Oh, that's gonna suck. Might have to burn the car. Like he was taking a polar plunge, Jason screwed up his face against the pane and sat, kindly waving me forward to share in his glitter doom. Face solemn, I scooted to join him and unzipped my pack with an extra flourish. Pulling out the paper bags, all noted as being eco-friendly, ironic considering the amount of glitter we'd be leaving on this picturesque cliff/crime scene, of scones, apple bars, almond jam cookies, and some kind of cheesy tart swept the sour from my mouth. My body still said food could go to hell, but my soul wanted to eat so fucking bad. Risking disaster, I grabbed an almond jam cookie and took a bite, then downed the whole nutty berry-y bliss before Jason had finished unpacking the bounty he'd been carrying. He carefully laid out each item in an arc of irresistible temptation, which was hilarious since I was the lurer in this fucked-up fairy tale. His final prize, which he placed at the center of his grand cliffside display, 2 slices of carefully boxed chocolate cake. I stared at the spread for a few seconds too long, trying to decide if it would be better to A, compartmentalize as hard as I fucking could and enjoy the picnic Jason had put so much effort into, then smash his life with Sybil shit, or B, Sybil shit first, save the feast for post-trauma comfort food. My stomach, already protesting the cookie I'd dared to eat, made my choice. My choice.
Made your choice for you.
Made my choice for me. I don't know what that was.
Was that like some weird Irish?
It was some kind of like weird. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I've got so many voices going through my head right now.
That's not the thing you admit on mic.
What are you talking about? Oh.
All right, back to civil shit.
Not those kind of voices. Okay, keep it down up there, y'all. Shh, they're on to us. It's okay. No, shh. Okay. My stomach, already protesting the cookie I'd dared to eat, made my choice for me. How the hell did you hike all the way here without messing up the cake? Years of practice, proper weight distribution in my pack, and knowing what desserts carry best at what temperatures. Jason winked. A snowy hike with key lime pie is a beautiful thing. I've got to get a picture of this. I forgot my wobbly human knees, hopping to my feet fast enough for Jason to dive to catch me, wrapping his arms around my waist while still kneeling like he was about to slam me back and pin me. I've got you! Thanks, buddy. My chest bounced against his cheek as I laughed. I'm okay. Sorry. Jason didn't loosen his hold. You're good. I kept my hands at my sides, distinctly not giving in to the embrace that could easily drift toward vaulting over boundaries I'd already blurred too far to get here. If you ever think I'm going to fall over the edge of a cliff, I give you permission to save me. Thanks. Jason eased his grip a little, but took a catch breath before fully letting go, like he'd had to convince his body to obey. Sorry. Don't be. I booped his nose. Better safe than splatted. Scarlet spread all the way to his temples. Pose with the picnic. I pulled out my phone and turned toward the fissure, moving away from Jason to fit the full glittery glory of the scene in the photo. I chose my steps carefully as I neared the jagged slice in the cliff that had haunted my nightmares. The trees rooted in the rock walls had grown in the last year, reaching almost up to the ledge. Between that and fall having yet to steal all the leaves, looking straight down, I could only see a gold-tinged canopy that seemed almost inviting to land on. Please don't get too close to the edge, Jason said. I don't get vertigo, but you almost fell like 2 minutes ago. Right. I stared down into the fissure a moment longer, searching for any visible sign of murder. Preferably a literal sign with big bold letters reading, Forensic Team Search Here, with an arrow pointing down. No such fucking luck. I want your best King of the Feast pose. I turned back to Jason, phone raised and ready to shoot. Jason did what Auntie V would call the panicked man dither, floundering for a second before popping one knee up, planting his fists on his hips, and giving what could either have been an attempt at a Prince Charming smile or his impression of Evan. Now I want Butler presenting the feast to the king. Staying on his knee, Jason wrapped one arm in front and one in back, then bowed with a noted decrease in dithering from his first... That's my messed up noise today. Staying on his knee, Jason wrapped one arm in front and one in back, then bowed with a noted decrease in dithering from his first pose. Now be Jason. A major spike in dither action later, he froze with his arms up, fists punching the air and mouth open as though caught mid-triumphant cheer. I tapped my phone and took the perfect picture of Jason Archer. I wish I'd had the cell reception to preserve a record of that smile. Now we have to get one together. I grabbed a stone from the ground and knelt beside the fissure, ready to prop my phone up and set a timer for a picture. But bad, silly, clumsy Ella tightened her hold on her phone in just the wrong way, launching it from her grip like a bar of too slippery soap, trying to catch it only to succeed in spiking the sacrificial device straight down into the fissure. Oh no! I don't know why. That's what came into my soul for Ella. She's
feel like that's...
oh no!
Oh, I punted it!
Oh, bad, silly. You know what the bad, silly, clumsy makes me think of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the wicked, bad, naughty, evil zoot. No?
I don't actually know what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm sorry we have to cut this short now because I now have to end this and go and pull up Monty Python and the Holy Grail so that my wife can have a proper Monty Python education. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We've
been together for how many years and you've neglected this? We can get through the rest of the chapter, buddy.
You've seen it, haven't you?
I don't know. You show me lots of weird shit.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh... I'm going back now. I'm depressed.
No, this is more like... Well, no, I can't say what this is more like because I don't know what that is. Okay, so just continue.
Okay. All right. Continuing. She said continue, so I had to take a drink. That's the rule. But bad, silly, clumsy Ella tightened her hold on her phone in just the wrong way, launching it from her grip like a bar of too slippery soap, trying to catch it only to succeed in spiking the sacrificial device straight down into the fissure. Oh no! I covered my mouth, staring after my phone, which hit the ground with a definitive crack. Shit! Jason reached me with impressive speed, kneeling beside me, grabbing my shoulder like he thought I might fling myself after my phone. Shit, I'm so sorry. Damn it! I sat back on my glittered butt and pulled the hair tie from around my barely hanging on bun. I still have my old phone at home. You can have it. Okay, stop. He is the sweetest. He's like, you can have my old phone. What a guy. What a guy.
Wants to help.
That's, I know. Okay.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, he is. I still have my old phone at home. You can have it. Thanks, but it's fine. I twisted my hair back up. I can run my poor phone's shattered remains to... My brain blipped at the detail I hadn't considered. Where's the nearest place to get a new phone? Sagebrook. It's not far. I can take you tomorrow. Tomorrow. The day after the day I'd been fixating on. The day I might be fleeing Lauraldale because I'd come too close to outing myself as a seer. Sure. I stood and, out of stupid fucking habit, brushed off my pants, spreading the glitter contagion to my hands. Fuck. Don't eat the whole picnic while I'm gone. I prowled toward the innermost point in the fissure, searching the trees below for any branches that could potentially hold my weight, finding no options I liked better than creeping down the seam like the itsy-bitsy spider. Wrong fucking shoes for this shit, Ella. I splayed my fingers wide, stretching my hands. What are you doing? Giving my body a preemptive apology for the unexpected abuse. Wait, what? Jason leapt to his feet. I have to bring in part of my destroyed phone to get a new one. I sat beside the seam, my legs dangling over the edge. No. Jason held a finger up in an adorable impression of authority. It's how the phone insurance works. I leaned across the gap, planting one hand on the far side of the seam and one hand on the near, gaining my first real as in current and not in a vision, glimpse of the ground. It wasn't even 100 feet down. If he hadn't hurt her, if he hadn't drugged her, she could have survived. Ella, no. But the murderer had weakened the wolf, made sure she couldn't brace for the impact, made sure she couldn't heal. You fucking monster. You fucking monster. You fucking monster. You can't climb down there. I'd wanted people to suffer before. I'd wanted people dead. I'd never felt my soul burn with the need to cherish a monster's screams as they were tortured until their body finally broke. Not until that moment. I shifted my weight forward, finding purchase for my boot on the far wall. Okay, Jason said. I'll climb down and get the phone. I've got it. Have you ever been rock climbing? Huh. Has Ella Day been rock climbing? I could feel Jason hovering over me, hands out, ready to snatch me back up to safety. Shit. Have I? I told him my parents took me camping, right? Just camping? There's no reason I would have said I'd never been rock climbing. When would it have come up? I love rock climbing, Jason said. Let me go down and get it, okay? My cousins take me rock climbing. I pushed my weight off the cliff, testing the load on my footholds. A trickle of dirt cascaded down the seam with an asshole-clenching sound. And lighter's probably better for this one. Okay, how about a rope? I have a rescue rope. Your rope's not that long.
Keep reading.
But Evans is. Am I right, Haley? Sorry. Sorry. Your rope's not that long. I can't say it without laughing. It's just a funny
I'll read that one, then you go.
Okay, thank you.
Your rope's not that long.
That's what she said. No, Ella, no. If it's that far down, please don't panic. Eyes on the seam below me, I lowered my right foot to a yummy little pocket. Do you remember your legs giving? It's inconvenient that you do. Having hundreds of dollars on the line suddenly perked me right up. a less yummy foothold down for my left foot. Ella, come back up. We'll go get some climbing gear and I'll be fine, I said with quasi-genuine confidence as I searched for anything remotely stable for my left hand to grab. What you need to understand is my cousins are complete assholes. Worse than assholes. Fucker face assholes with twisted senses of humor. But free climbing, the fucker faces don't like ropes because they're all werewolves. And as the only girl, and Sybil, I can't open myself up to their mocking by not following them up a cliff. I didn't mention that Kian usually lingered at the bottom, pretending he wasn't there to catch me since the poor Sybil couldn't heal like the big bad wolves as she falls. Are you sure you know how to do this? Worry oozed from poor Jason's voice. Meh, mostly? Absolutely. And as I haven't been drugged and wounded, I like my chances of landing well enough to survive if I have an oops. I took an extra long look at the ground, now 80-ish feet below. Okay, like is a strong word. The fucker faces have convinced me to do way worse shit before. Sounds like you're close. Ish, I guess. I mean, I've only got the 3 cousins that I've met, and I have enough blackmail material to last a lifetime on all of them. Does that count as close? Do they have blackmail material on you? Oh, plenty. I reached the first real ledge in the seam. I switched both feet to the same wall and dug my toes in deep, pausing for a moment to wipe my sparkly, sweaty palms on my thighs before continuing down. Most of it's the kind of shit that stops mattering when you reach adulthood. Sneaking out, what happened to the missing bottle of good whiskey. Wait. I paused again, resisting the, very fucking foolish under the circumstances, temptation to look up and watch his face. Have you ever broken the rules, Jason Archer? Yes. He sounded a little insulted. Eyes on the climb, Ella. I continued down. I'm not sure I believe you. Give me one good Jason shenanigan story. Other than procuring maps from my dad's work computer? That doesn't count. You were helping me. He's the sheriff. Still doesn't count. Okay, how about this? I'm often called upon to help carry the kegs for the rendezvous. I assist in the facilitation of underage drinking. That one I'll take. Then it's your turn. I want to hear about a good Ella rebellion. You'll have to narrow it down by genre. I bit my lips together as I took an uncomfortably large step down. Shit my parents would have been pissed about? Illegal? Just fucking stupid? Quite the range. What can I say? The rock I'd been gripping with my left hand pulled free from the wall. For a split second, my weight shifted back in a very not good way. I pitched myself forward, ramming my fingers into the slit where the fallen rock had been, tearing the skin on my middle finger in what felt like a nasty way, all while still talking and with barely a wobble in my voice, thank you very fucking much. Diverse degenerate. Is it okay if I ask what your parents would have been mad about? The pinch of potential tears tightened my throat. I wouldn't have mentioned it if it wasn't. Right. Shit. Below me, the sheer seam gentled into a steep slope, making the last 30 feet more like a vengeful slide than a rock climbing wall. Easy peasy. Almost there. Don't get cocky, Ella. Sorry, I said. What I meant is, even if talking about my parents feels shitty, it's better than pretending they never existed. So yeah, asking about them is an option. Keeping my bloody finger as clear of the dirt as possible, I changed my descent tactic, switching my weight onto the steeply sloped ground to climb down like a human on a shitty ladder rather than a spider in a spout. Okay, Jason called, actually having to raise his voice since I'd made it down so far. Oh, nope, that's not how you wrote it. Sorry, I'm messing up your words. Okay, Jason called, actually having to raise his voice since I'd made it so far down. What degeneracy do you hide from your parents? No. It's because I'm trying to do this acting thing where I like pull my body away from the mic as I'm yelling.
I love that you're trying this new thing called acting.
Whoa! I will have you know that I have a degree in musical theater. It's the most useless degree ever. All right. Okay, Jason called, actually having to raise his voice since I'd made it so far down. What degeneracy did you hide from your parents? See, I am capable of acting. I I chose two stories and ran them each through I chose two stories and ran them each through in my head twice, searching for any aitherion tells. Do you want a daring one or a juicy one? Ooh, that's tough. A rock slipped out from under my foot. I pressed my body to the slope and covered my head, prepping for disaster as the asshole rock clacked its way to the fissure floor. Ella! I'm fine! I waited one heartbeat and another. Disaster didn't come. The slope didn't sweep out from under me. I took a breath. Yep, totally fine. And fucking grateful it's my weight on this slope instead of yours, sir. Let me do the climbing, even though I'm a fucking living wall. Can I ask to hear both your stories if I promise to tell you another one of mine? Jason asked. Sure. 5 more feet and I'd reach the fissure floor. Can you flutter me down a napkin? Huh? I scraped my finger and don't want to get dirt in it. Just scraped? I looked from the blood, dirt, glitter mess on my hand to the trail of tiny blood drips leading up the slope, choosing to go with what Jason would hopefully see when he finally got a look at the cut based on my estimate of healing speed versus my ability to spit clean the wound. You could call it a cut, but it doesn't need stitches or anything. If I can mash the skin into the right place, since asking Kate to fix it for me could be a bad fucking idea depending on how the rest of this day goes. Incoming! I craned my neck, watching the napkin lazily twist its way down, conveniently landing where I only had to scramble back up a few feet to grab it. Okay, degenerate story 1. I tucked the napkin in my bra strap, keeping it clean-ish as I finished my descent. I told my parents I was going camping with my friends, but I was actually going to Reno for a concert. My feet finally found relatively flat ground, letting me stand, freeing my hands from the slope. And by concert, I mean highly themed burlesque that required some top-of-the-line fake IDs to enter. What was the theme? Wouldn't you like to know? I'm going to pause here. Was it Zoomanity? Is that what she was going to? Oh, no, she was going to Reno.
Yeah.
Not Vegas. Okay, sorry. I was like, she was going to Zoomanity. That's amazing. But no, she was going to Reno, so never mind. Okay, just kidding.
There is a canon of what the burlesque was.
Do we get to know?
Do you want to know?
Are we going to get to know later?
I don't think it's ever going to come up again.
Then yeah, tell me.
It was totally a Twilight-themed burlesque. Which is why the aitherion kids snuck out to go see it.
Because they wanted to see the fake vampires and werewolves?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Be all sexy on stage. So the aitherion kids, where she was living at the time, got really good fake IDs and snuck to Reno to see the Twilight burlesque.
Twilight burlesque would literally just be an hour and a half of Edward.
With just like body glitter everywhere.
No, that's this chapter.
Okay, continue.
Okay.
Oh, man.
You did it. Okay, I already took my drink, though. And by concert, I mean highly themed burlesque that required some top-of-the-line fake IDs to enter. What was the theme? Wouldn't you like to know? And we do now. I spit on my bloody hand, using the napkin to wipe away the worst of the mess. Then, folding the gross side in, I wrapped my super fancy bandage around my, now that I wasn't distracted by trying not to fall, throbbing finger, securing the dressing in place with my hair tie. Who goes first on the Who goes first for the second story? You? There was fucking teasing in Jason's voice, like if I'd been able to see him, he'd be grinning at my foolishness and giving him the option. A surge of guilty fear dragged down my spine. Don't go there, Ella. Focus, Ella. What were the odds I'd get to see one of Jason's beaming, carefree smiles again? What the fuck kind of ass was I for thinking about me getting to see the smile before clicking over to worrying about when he'd be capable of that kind of uninhibited joy at all? You're here for a reason, Ella. You can't worry about his happiness, Ella. He was attacked too, Ella. You're helping him, Ella. If you're sure you want to hear it. I turned away from the seam, facing the open side of the fissure. Oh, I'm sure. Cold, crushing dread pressed on the front of my lungs. Sunlight seeped in through the trees, allowing scruffy brush to grow up between the layers of fallen rocks that were the fissure floor, hiding most of the ground from view. This is why you're here, Ella. Consciously keeping my breath steady, I picked my way forward, searching for the thing, the evidence I'd so carefully forbidden myself from considering.
And right here, we are going to take a brief pause, though it is not the end of the chapter or really the end of the episode.
It's not?
It's not.
Okay.
In fact, we are having a problem with our podcast.
Yeah, they apparently shadow dropped that they are now only accepting hour-long episodes. This just happened a couple of days ago, so we're having to kind of zhuzh a little bit.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we are going to end this part of chapter 34 here, and we're going to do a chapter 34 A and B situation. So this is the end of chapter 34, part A. Hop right on over to the next podcast episode, and we are going to jump straight into the rest of the chapter. So don't worry, it is up, it is available. Just jump to chapter 34 part B and continue the story there.
Okay, good, because I don't want to leave off where we just left off.
No, we don't want to do that. So
Okay.
hop right on over. We're going to pick it right up.